Okay, so the guitar we have here is quite a rare bird. Basically, what I would say about this guitar is, what does a company do when it doesn't have any designs of its own? Well, it steals somebody else's. And that's what the Japanese company that made this guitar in the 1970s did. And the guitar was sold under a variety of brand names: Ibanez, Greco, Bradley, and Toria. Ibanez was the most popular, and these guitars have come to be known as the Ibanez lawsuit guitars. That's because the companies that made the originals on which they're modeled sued Ibanez, or allegedly sued Ibanez, and told them to stop making their instruments for them. This is a very early one. You can tell this because this is a replica of a Gibson L-5. Now, I have a real Gibson L-5 right next to me, and if you look at the head of the guitar, it's kind of a square shape, and it's exactly the same on this guitar. Later Ibanez is very similar in the rest of the instrument, but they kind of rounded off the top in a bid to avoid being sued by the lawyers, but I don't think it worked because they were eventually dissuaded from making this type of an instrument. That said, these are great instruments in their own right. They're beautifully put together. There's a big difference between this guitar and the real guitar here, which is the Gibson, and the fundamental difference is that whereas the Gibson is made of real fancy woods, spruce and maple, the Ibanez is in fact completely made out of plywood, but with these very clever veneers put on to make it look like it's been made of really expensive wood. That being said, there's actually a case that a stage guitar can be a lot better if it's made out of a laminated wood like this, because the sound of the box is a lot more dead and it's much less susceptible to feedback. So a guitar like this can be played a lot louder than a carved-topped instrument, and for that reason I've used this guitar on thousands of gigs. It's never let me down. These plywoods are very tough, very durable. The guitar's flown across the world more times than I can remember, and even though this instrument is from 1974, it's still in perfect working order. It's a great instrument. They're harder to come by because more and more people are now collecting them, and they're becoming slightly valuable in their own right. But if you find one and you need a good working jazz guitar at a great price, then I urge you to try one of these because they just sound so amazing.